Homeowners are suing D.R. Horton over financing scheme. Now, what's going on here? For decades, we've been working with this where we help represent the buyer, bring them to a new home sales people. And what happens is they present them with financing options. And there's a little known thing that when you buy a house and you buy it for more money, the county is going to reassess your property at the higher cost. Even when we sell a house, there's a supplemental tax disclosure that we have you sign. And I know it gets confusing because you're signing 10,000 different documents and your hand gets a cramp because you're signing so much stuff. But it's something to realize. When you buy a new house, you are going to get a supplemental tax chit. They're going to say you owe us more money. And if you're in impounds, sometimes the financing will not give you the new estimated tax cost or fee. This is a problem because new home sellers have consistently been selling this as this is your finance fee, this is how much you're paying your PITI, and it's a low cost because they make it look more appealing. Bait and switch. It's illegal. You have to say, hey, look, when you're looking at your little financing disclosure, this is how much the property is selling for. This is how much your estimated taxes are going to be. Well, we can't estimate that. We don't know how to do that. Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. And here's the thing. A lot of times they will give the seller, the new home places will give an incentive to use their financing because the financing gives the builder a kickback, which is illegal. They disclose it, so it's not illegal. They give them a little bit of vig on the financing fee. I can't do that. I don't do that. I give you 3 lenders. You can use your own. I never force you to do anything on the financing side because it's such a sticky situation. Every time we come in and say, hey, this is your financing charge based on your new home cost. This is what your taxes are going to be. Make sure you put money away. If you have an impound account, this is what you should be packing away. Matter of fact, I have it here from my parents. I have a little tax bill from my parents' house, and I got that paid into the impound. So that should be taken care of, no problem. All right. This class action lawsuit is against D.R. Horton, against all the home buyers, saying that they did not disclose that your taxes are going to be more at the end of the year. So at the end of the year, your new home bill goes up significantly, sometimes by 30-40%. And if you're just squeaking into a house saying this is affordable, now you have this extra cost. There's no way you're going to be able to afford it, which is going to hurt you as a consumer. That's why this lawsuit is coming through. And this is big because the way the finance disclosure works is that they just give it to you, you sign it, that's it. They don't have to present what the taxes are going to be. They should. We can't give tax advice. We don't know how to do it. Yeah, you do know how to do it. We always say this is what it is. This is about what the percentage rate is in your area because we know all this other stuff. This is what it does to your bill. This is your monthly PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? Insurance is another scam that's going on right now. A friend I had dinner with last night, and she lives up in North Sacramento in the mountains, and she has to pay Fair Plan, and Fair Plan's a total scam. It's ridiculous. It's amazing that people are still buying houses in fire severity zones. Like, look, right there. I don't even know, like Mount Vernon, that whole thing's a big freaking tinderbox, right? It's because California doesn't take care of their forestry, and it's a shame. It's a scam that's going on. So D.R. Horton, look, here's an example. Frankie Santiago was promised a monthly payment of $21.46 for the Lake County, Florida, with a DIHI, which mortgage, which is who they said you can use. Now, sometimes I'll go in with my buyer and say, hey, we're approved with the loan. Here's your interest rate. And then they come in with a lower interest rate, which is not hard to do, but then they tack on extra fees, et cetera. And then they don't show them the taxes. So they go, oh, I only have to pay $21.64. And at the end of the year, they're like, oh, guess what? You got reassessed at 30% more. It's ridiculous. That should be illegal. That should be completely illegal. It should be tacked into the system when you present that. This is what your tax bill will be every month, period. You have to understand that going into it because it's an issue and it consistently happens. 5 states join in the FTC suing of Zillow Redfin for alleged antitrust violations. We talked about this last week. It was the rental thing where Zillow and Redfin conspired, I guess you can say, to say Redfin's going to start pushing their traffic over to Zillow so that they have a monopoly on this, and it's antitrust. Defendants of anti-competitive conduct has harmed these states' respective economies and general welfare, depriving them and their residents of benefits of competition. Okay, you can read it. There's, I can share in the description down below, and right next to it is a link to my blog. Home price cuts accelerate shift to buyer's market. With fewer active buyers, longer listing times, sellers are increasingly slashing prices. Gets to the point where you're like, shit, I just gotta sell this house. I can't afford it. Now, it's not happening in the luxury markets. It's not happening a whole lot in the haves markets, but in the not haves, wants markets, the new housing buyer market is happening. A lot of sneaky stuff's happening. I just had a buyer come back to me with an addendum with $2,000 extra charge that we didn't agree to. So I'm like, no, get rid of it. I'm going to cancel this contract, yada, yada. This will shift back to normal. What's normal? It'll shift back to a seller's market. We're going to see at the end of this month another price cut, and then November another price cut, and then things will start warming back up come March. Spring is our selling season. So my suggestion is, and I'm telling a lot of my sellers this right now, if you're going to sell a house, you don't have to sell it right now. Wait until March. There'll be a lot more buyers out there in March. You can sell right here, right now, but you're going to get lowball offers you're thinking about, and we're in a contracting market. So if you're in a place where you want to buy a house right now, it's great. We're in a downward market. Your ego is telling you, oh, I need to get this because my house, the same house sold down the street and I think it's worth this much. Buyers are smart. They have Zillow and they have Redfin. They know the cost and value of everything, and they see other houses and they're like, I'm not going to look at this house. I'm not even going to bother. It's missing this. It's missing that. And if you're overpriced, they're definitely not going to look at it. So be careful about that. This is Los Gatos House of the Week. This is brand new, $2.1 million. Creekside Village, not my listing, 3 2.5 baths, built in 2005. Look at that. It's in an HOA, $270 a month, and you're in Pocket Homes. We're going to take a look at where it is in a minute, but inside, it looks nice, right? 2005 is pretty new. I mean, the shower's a little dated. There's a temporary pergola there to get out of the sun on those hot days. I don't know why they would get that. That doesn't make sense. And you get a tandem garage. That's awesome. Price is a premium. Space is a premium. So you got multiple bedrooms there. Good. This is a nice house. It's going to sell pretty quick, even though it's in an HOA. And then this one right here. This is my neighbor. He didn't use me, and mostly because he bought on price. Let's take a quick look at this inside here. So you can look inside. You got promised a price that didn't happen. It was on market 127 days. They lowered it, and they lowered it, and they lowered it, and they lowered it. I talked to the lady. She's like, yeah, he's stuck on this 155 number, and it finally sold at $1.2 million. This is the lowest list price to sales price ratio of the week. It's just when you have a basic house and it doesn't even have cooling, and never even looked. Window wall unit does not have air conditioning. Guys, I'm telling you, air conditioning is a $10,000 to $15,000 investment, and the ROI is about $180,000 to $200,000. Period. If you don't have air conditioning, your house is not going to sell for what you think it's worth. It's a huge thing. You have to have air conditioning. Your house won't be looked at. Now, it's different if you're on the coast. If you're in Santa Cruz and you don't have air conditioning, it's normal. If you're in Hollister and you don't have air conditioning, it's normal, because around 4 o'clock is when it gets hot. It's the hottest part, and then you get the sea breeze come in and it cools it down. Santa Clara County, it doesn't do that so well. It doesn't keep it cool. And when your house doesn't have air conditioning, and look, I've only operated my air conditioning maybe twice this year. I have my windows open all the time, and when it gets hot, it's fine and it'll cool down because we haven't had a hot summer. But you need to have air conditioning in your house if you're going to sell it. Otherwise, people are going to walk away from it. It's the one extra thing that just makes them look at everything else and say, this house isn't worth it. I'm going to move on. And look, they lost $350,000 because staging, which is $2,500 in that price range, and $10,000 or $15,000 for air conditioning, you could have had this thing sold a lot faster. And they started April. They had it overpriced for way too long. Pricing is very important. Okay. And this is the biggest jump. I want to say it was 132% or 133% over list price. This is in Los Altos. Started at 3.2, sold for 4.2, sold for a whole $1 million more. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, built in 1951, and nothing special about it. Even original kitchen, crazy, right? Crazy. See, if you know your market and you understand, you price it under, you're going to get it sold. Let's see, and this is the lowest home sold in Santa Clara County. This is right by Reed Hillview Airport, Mendota, $899. Originally sold for 100%, sold in 2 days. Yep. And then this is the highest, most expensive house sold in Santa Clara County. It's in Los Altos again. Boom. There we go. Right there. $11 million. Came down a little bit, but it was on market for 49 days. So if you don't price it, even when you're a market maker, if you don't price it right, you're not going to get what you think your house is worth. $1 million. Let's see. It's 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, 4,900 square feet. Let's see. The other one in Los Altos sold for $4 million. You take this with a 1/4 acre, you tear that house down, put a couple $1 million into it. Next thing you know, your house is worth $12 million. That kind of stuff is happening all the time, guys. Let's see if they have cooling, central AC, multi-zone. No kidding. All right, here you go. We have almost 1,100 homes for sale. It's been coming down considerably. We're topping out at like 1,400 homes. Got pretty close to 15 earlier in the summer. This is the cold time of the year. The market's cooling as the temperature's cooling. We have 256 price reductions, which is 23% of the housing market right now has seen pricing reductions. See, home price cuts accelerate shift to buyer's market. We're not there yet. In other markets, there's buyer's markets like in Texas and St. Louis, etc. We're in buyer's markets, but Santa Clara County, we're still seeing housing inventory, months of inventory or less than 6 months. So we're not in a buyer's market yet. We're pretty balanced. We've been asking for a balanced market for the last 3-4 years. 2021, when we were giving $400,000 over list price on average, now we're at about buyer's market. This is a perfect time to buy. Prices are coming down. Rates are coming down. There's not a lot of competition. You can name your price. And if you don't, you move on to the next house. And if you're selling, yeah, you're going to lose money on the sell side. But if you can hold it for 6 months and see the market return, it's a gamble, right? Because I can't tell the future. But if you hold on to